Anyway, it's sad to say this, but Parler's censoring. We moved from Twitter, Facebook, etc. to Parler back in the day because Twitter, Facebook, and Amazon were censoring Christians, right? We know that. They were censoring Christians and Jews. They spied on everybody, censored the Christians and Jews. It's not much different than 1940s Germany. You see these papers, please, going on. So let's just look at just like let's review what happened in Parler. They made a new site. Amazon shut them down because Amazon doesn't like Christians. That's why Jeff Bezos stayed down. He realized he committed he violated 1960s civil rights law and freedom of speech, so he didn't want to be sued. Mark Zuckerberg just straight up lying to Congress, and there's enough Democrats that are like, oh, we don't care, we lie all the time, man. You're cool with us. Um, as long as you're lying and doing Nazi stuff for us, we're cool, says the Democrats and liberals, right? So check this out. We moved to Parler because it's an exodus. We're moving away from these bad people, Twitter and Facebook, which won't let us post as Christians and Jews. So we moved to Parler, right? We moved to Parler, and then we get 200. We were getting 200 to 1,000 upvotes. I mean, 2,000. I was getting 200 to 1,000 views, even without any followers, right? Meanwhile, on Twitter, I had like 2,000, 3,000 followers, and I wasn't getting any views at all. Actually, I was losing followers ever since it got censored. My censor event on Twitter was when I said I bought an ad. I was like, oh, I love Twitter. I'm gonna buy an ad. It says, God is love, Jesus loves you. Everybody should love each other, right? And it got taken down for hate speech, which is curious because everybody loves each other. Like maybe like it's not hate speech. I don't know, but anyway, so we moved to Parler because Twitter, Facebook was a bunch of goofballs, and they're totally Nazis. It's the definition Nazi: spawn everybody, censor your political opponents out of hate, particularly the Christian and Jews. These atheists, they really, really do want to destroy religion, and they don't care about the people of faith. They kind of want to make you poor and stuff, but that's a different story. Well, anyway, we moved to Parler. Amazon shut Parler down. They remade Parler, and they're making this excuse like, well, we just can't get it online. We can't get it all done, right? But what happened is, when we first got on, like there was a couple of views. Then it went down to 0 to 1 views for like many weeks. No matter what you post, you get 0 to 1 views. In the old Parler, you get 200 to 1,000 every single post without any followers. So like, there's something going on. Then they just removed the view count altogether. Like, well, we don't want to even see that, right? We don't want to see that like you're getting no views like the old one is, right? Like, that's part of the game. They like to hide the numbers, obfuscate the numbers, but they do a terrible job because they have the interns working for them, right? A thief and his partners are their own worst enemy, and then but they have 40,000, like they have tens of thousands of like all these big tech companies have thousands of like naive interns. Like if you want to go, if you wanted to go like avoid prison, and then like you're talking with the cop, and in the back room they said, hey, the intern said, yeah, you know what? He said, you stole some coffee. You stole some coffee packets from the coffee machine. Like, damn it! I told him the shit and didn't. It's like you say, like so, like they're trying to hide this huge cover up of it's a huge conspiracy. Like if they try to make conspiracy theories look like whack jobs, right? But if you think nothing secret's going on behind the doors, if you think no one's getting bribed, none of this campaign contribution happens, there's no such thing as lobbyists. Then you're the loony, right? So like Parler got bribed behind the scenes. They're still in with Apple, so they're capitulating to Apple's demands. They're just trying to make all the money they can while just placating the masses like it's working. We're working on it. They've been working on it for like a year, right? I put a social media up in like a day, right? So these guys are just like capitulating. They probably got this huge amount of bribes because political stuff is all bribes, It's like, oh, because we don't want the conservatives to even talk. We don't want those Christian Jews talk. Just take $10 million, when we look the other way, or like, what I'm saying? But anyway, Parler is not working on purpose. All right, and they're censoring people who are calling them out on it. So let's review. So here we go, blah 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 blah. I just started calling them expletives right off the bat. So I said Parler's a joke. You censor more people than Twitter, Facebook, and Amazon combined. Old Parler, 200 views. You have a lucky move that tell Apple stores to go screw themselves. With more fancy words, and then they tell them you're keeping your bribe money. What you're supposed to do with these people. If the puppeteers come at you and bribe money, you do this, do that. You like take their bribe money and say, "I'm not going to do that." What are you going to send, a corporate assassin? He's like, I mean, like I don't know, man. Like maybe that's a little off the ball, but Kennedys and shit, man. But anyway, so tell them, what are they gonna do? You take millions of dollars off them, and then you just don't do what they say, right? And then what are they gonna do, right? Like, oh, we bribed that guy. They're gonna go, law. We bribed that guy, and he didn't do what we said. They can't do that, right? So but Apple's part of the big censorship. Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, right? They're just a bunch of censorship things. LinkedIn actually kicks off Christians. I was complaining on LinkedIn. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure Blizzard discriminates against Christians and Jews. Boom, next damn ban. All right. It's like, and then like, okay, whatever. And then like, I don't even want to use LinkedIn if you don't want me, if I'm not allowed to talk about discrimination when everybody's talking about inclusion, well then go screw your LinkedIn, right? And then like the next week, Blizzard gets in trouble for discrimination. They're like they're in lawsuits right now. It's like, dude, I know what's going on, dude. Like, I'm not a moron. I'm not a fringe lunatic. They all the liberals on the liberal television don't trust the conspiracy theorists because there's nothing secret going on behind the scenes. Just trust the CNN. Stay at home and watch news. Everybody's a hater. It's like, come on, dude. You're like a joke, guys. But anyway, so it's like, want to be successful, take all the bribe money, don't follow the rules. Go back to giving us lots of views and exposure because of this. None of this, kill it off, pretend no one noticed it because of bribes, right? So what they did was they censored this post. This post just went away. Boop. They didn't even put the effort to shadow ban, right? Told my friend to check it out. He's like, and then so what happens is I posted this post after that. I said after this one got censored, I posted this post down here. We You gonna censor this one too? Parler censoring. We see it. You can't even shadow ban. We check it using other device around rule. What are we gonna do with all the Apple bribe money when China and Iran rules rule? Take their money but don't capitulate. Fight for freedom. Fight for freedom of speech. You became the very enemy you fought against. Go ahead, censor this one too. Like tell everyone how corrupt. Say they did censor this one. Okay. Ever notice how you went to 2 views? I was just basically saying the whole thing I set up in here with less expletives because I mean maybe they were censoring because of expletives. No, they were censoring because they didn't want it to be seen. And then when they figure out which one they want to be seen, they have to go to the one with expletives, and that's how it works. So they first they censored this one, then they censored this one down here. Not the whole thing here. This is just explaining it. Then they put this one back up, and then I posted this, and I said, "Dear Parler, guys, at least be consistent with your censoring. You censored my first post with expletives, then I posted again without, and then you censored that one, and uncensored the one with F-bomb. Whatever Apple return that is choosing what is to censor. Remember, the Bible says, a thief's partner is his own worst enemy. Big tech has thousands of bumbling interns. You can't hide censorship, and Parler is part of it. Anyone wants to see a transcript of how Parler censored me? Old Reddit, places I got censored, places I got censored. If you censor this, you can tell more and more people. Just take it on the chin. Except you've been outed as taking bribes since it's time to post my site. It's like you guys are goofballs. Anyway, I just want to let you know, it's Parler censoring people. It's pretty obvious. Our science on on Reddit, they censor people. Our science because they say we're just banning jokes. Really, they're not just banning jokes. They're not just removing jokes. They're removing any dissenting thought against the liberal culture. Uh, you'll notice everything on our science is liberal, Ben. If you know what their think tank talking points are. It's really easy to see. Our Christianity, not Christian. If you talk out against sexual immorality on there, you're like, you're banned. One of the mods atheist, one satanic, and there's 3 sexual moral mods. And then there's this whole network like True Christianity is right in with those guys. Our Bible scholars, all I think debated religion may be possible, but what you do is you look at the corrupt mods and you see what other mods they're linked to, and by going to their all the different, they normally moderate different subs. So you go into those subs and see what they're moderating and see all those people, and then you look at the post history, and they're all they're just liberal talking point bots. Around what was it, 2019, 2020, all the hate bots rolled into Reddit. What is it called? Like they want to push division, so if they just make everybody hating, they figure they did their job. Everybody's a bunch of haters. You get people arguing. It's like it's human psyche. If you're so used to arguing, you start arguing with everybody. That's like the traditional news, right? The traditional news. They always in politics. There's 1,000 different ideas for politics, right? But they only just put one on one. They're wrong and we're right. Crash your heads for 30 days straight, 60 days straight, 90 days straight. Half a year they're just saying how they're wrong, 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 and they're just ignoring all the other ones because they just want you to argue. If you're arguing with your family, you no longer have a chance for grassroots to grow up, right? And then they don't want you to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should nix the law where if you trip on some guys stones in their driveway, you can't sue them because their stones weren't arranged perfectly. Lower that tort, get rid of that tort. Then because then we could have concerts. We could have hillbilly concerts out in people's farms, or rap concerts here in the farms, or whatever you want to do. I mean, punk concerts in the farm. You could have people over for like whatever, like hay bale rods or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you have everybody partying, but like you don't do that now because people are afraid to lose their property, right? That's the no trespassing signs. That's because they want you isolated and divided. I don't know about this COVID, but it's pretty isolated. Was it like last 10 years, right? What do we have the last 10 years? They're trying to push the flu like it's scary. Everybody's like, the flu? Screw the flu. I I had the flu and I threw up. I drank some Gatorade and I'm good. It's like, but now there's COVID. Oh, everybody be afraid. Oh my God, be afraid. Papers, please. Papers, please. It's like, come on. The Nazism that's coming around anymore. Check out, look at Donald Trump take on big tech. He knows what's going on. The Not Pillow Bot guy has a little speeches he does. Those are pretty good. Um, there's really like everybody knows Biden's bought up by Iran by now. Like, here, let's let the Taliban have power back. Let's not defend Israel. Let's raise the gas prices by signaling we're going to get rid of the car and like get rid of the pipeline for environmental reasons. We'll get rid of the pipeline so we can truck millions of diesel fuel in the air, right? Oh, we're gonna see clouds. That's environmental. Diesel fuel for the air. We free the diesel fuel now. It's environmentalism. They don't make sense. They're like, I mean, like, it don't make sense what they say, right? They're not even trying to feed you crap that makes sense, right? Like they used to like try, like look at California. We're trying to preserve the skyline, but then you look and it's like, that's desert, right? You don't need to preserve that. You need to preserve human life by making more houses, but you're not going to make more houses because there's people bribing you, you know, to restrict houses. So you build less houses and immigration and births. Surprise, homelessness. But guess what? There's lower supply, higher demand, more prices. Those landlord lobby, yay, we making lots of money on these Silicon Valley people. They're God's not gonna like that, man. Like when they kind of find God, like, so you wanted to kill your fellow man just so you could have money to act superior. For what reason again? Like, what you thought the hot chicks would like you for money? Like, dude, don't you know that like you can pray and you can work out? Like, why don't you do it the real way? Why do you have to be a dick? Why do you have to be a greedy dick that killed your fellow man? Like, so like anyway, like anywhere, like when they do whatever they do, they always like they always give you a reason why they did it. Like it's good for you. That's gonna be good for you. Hey, like check it out. Nuclear waste. Use it for like a face wash because they'll give you that healthy glow, right? They just, I say this because there's that, what was that one Lucky Charms commercial. I don't know if you saw it, you maybe track it down someplace. That they tried to make Lucky Charms as a health food, right? They're like, Lucky Charms is a health food because oats are good for the heart scientifically, and we have oat pieces in our cereal. Therefore, we're a health food. Yeah, it's like like I mean that's a different thing, but like the politicians will always going to tell you why it's good for you, and they're going to do whatever the people that bribe them do, and they're going to tell it's good for you. Like I said, like Biden's like, we're going to get rid of the pipeline for environmental reasons, and it promotes jobs. It's like the broken window fallacy. Go around smashing everybody's windows. Look how many jobs there are for people fixing windows. We made the economy magically awesome. No. Why don't you have like 1,000 people working at McDonald's? They could be hanging out the window. Hey, look, we got all these people working at McDonald's. It's like, well, you don't need that many people working at McDonald's. Just those people could be doing real things instead of hanging out the windows. So I love truckers. I mean, my dad's a trucker. But like setting up these people up and down the roads that you could just be pushing it through a pipeline. It's freaking retarded. So I apologize for people who are slow. I know everybody has their disabilities. Um, God bless those with disabilities. So it's like, try not to use that word anymore, the R word. But it's like, I mean, like, I'm not going to insult a person, but like the idea behind, like, how dumb it is. How dumb is it to say for environmental reasons we're going to pump millions of tons of diesel into the air? That's not smart. It's almost as smart as like, hey, let's make rural America poor so they're more environmental. No, no, no. They start just buying more like styrofoam and stuff, man. Like the environmentalists should not make people poorer. Like just because people in poor countries maybe have less of environmental impact because they don't like maybe they don't go to school. They don't, like they don't like produce stuff. They can't buy and sell. Yeah, of course, that's no, but people who actually have to survive in modern society, the poorer you make them, the worse the environmental impact is. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong on that one. There's other things I'm not wrong on. It should just like we see, Biden's bribed by Iran and China. You see, China and Afghanistan are already alliance, and the liberals are trying to say Taliban's are good guys now. They're just bombing bad people, like Americans. Like, because remember, America sucks. From the Democrats think America sucks. Remember, let's reel it back. Kneel before the flag, or you're a racist. You know, if you're a patriot, you're a racist. I stopped watching the NFL because of that. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I mean, I love the NFL. I mean, like, the only guy I respect on the Steelers is Villanueva for not bowing before that bunch of shit, man. He actually, Villanueva, Alejandro Villanueva. He actually was offered like a multi-million-dollar contract to the NFL, right, or something like that. He was going to go to the NFL. They're going to pay him a lot of money, but he went and fought overseas against the terrorists for 4 years, right? That's a brave man. Then he came back and kicked ass in the NFL. Then he doesn't bow before this like whole like Chinese communist propaganda that America sucks, right? Oh, they were saying, but America doesn't suck. We're just kneeling before the flag because if you're a patriot, you're racist. Like, what are you even talking about, right? And then like, later on, the riots. Oh, just America sucks. Remember, that's where we're going. We're gonna have some paid protesters. We're gonna be up on Twitter. We're gonna just like call for riots the next day. What was it like? Had what is it called? May 27th, 2020. Um, There's some really strange things people saying. Like people who like I follow like leaders of different things, like black leaders, these leaders, right? And these guys are using words they don't normally use. And it's all like death in the streets and stuff, but they're like in like different grammatical things, almost like they got bribed to write it down, right? Because I was literally going to everyone like, what the hell, man? All this hate's going to cause a riot tomorrow. People are going to die. People are going to lose property, which is going to lead to people dying and have less health. Because, like, think about it, man. You brick a researcher's car, could be an undergrad. You might not even have a lot of money. Then go in the lab. That might have been the day he found the cure for something cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have found a research thing, but you bricked his car, right? So, destroying property is bad. Killing people's bad. I mean, like, I had friends I had to unfriend from college, like really close friends that like that they were like the riots are awesome. I'm like, dude, people are dying. The riots are not awesome. So like I don't know. I think Biden's making like there's one thing you can say about Biden. He's making sure on his promises to oppose Make America Great Again. He's making America suck again, right? Hey, can we get that like last time we had a monarchy? Can we do any like better slavery? Maybe we can get like these terrorists in China to rule over us. It's like I have nothing against Chinese people. I love Bruce Lee. I love Jackie Chan. I'm a martial artist myself, a little bit. Not that great, but not that terrible. I love people from every nation, man. Like every nation's awesome, and it's just what happens is the rulers kind of suck. As President Yi, President Z, he harvested organs of the protesters. Oh my God, people in America are protesting to say America sucks. What do you want? You're protesting for China. That's where the money comes from, and you're getting paid to protest against America so that China can take over. And when you try and protest them, they'll just kill you, harvest your organs, and sell them on the black market, like they're doing in Hong Kong. You know what Iran does to you? They'll just torture you until you capitulate. Oh, you like our fake god, blah 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 blah. Well, no, I don't. Like, yeah, you do, and we'll break your kneecaps. We'll wound you. We'll torture you, and then as you try and like recover, we'll put you into a jail where your wounds will fester and your limbs will rot off. Psst, should have agreed with this. I don't know. Like, you're protesting America, where like the police don't even take bribes, right? Basically every other nation, you have to bribe the police. Almost, like I think Canada's cool. I think maybe they're cool. I like most every other nation, like a grand majority, like 80% over, the police just ask for bribes. They just do. America, they try, man. Like people have heart, like in America, and it's because it's the land of the free. You can say whatever the hell you want against the guy in charge, man. Try that in any other country, in any other time in the universe. Like you're not gonna have a pleasant experience when you call like Caesar a dickhead. You can call Biden a dickhead, right? For like for selling us out to China and Iran, right? For making like abandoning his allies in Afghanistan, dude. These people know they're gonna get tortured, so they're like hanging on the planes until they fall off to their death. It's like, you know what? That's how much Biden screwed up. And you pray for Biden that like before he dies, he realizes maybe like, wow, there is good and evil. Why did I just go for money all my life? Why do I have this big ego? If you ever notice, Biden has a bigger ego than Trump. Argue with Biden, he'll be like, nope, I'm much better. You just view the thing, and like if you go back through history, Biden was for like he didn't want blacks to eat in the same place that whites did. That's racist. It's called segregation. He passed laws he fought against Martin Luther King, and then like suddenly he's the savior of the black community, which doesn't make sense. Like no one saw one in the campaign trail. He called the one guy, "You can't be black if you don't vote for me." Like he has this ego that's beyond like human like capabilities. And then he answers questions. Oh, I can't answer press conferences. Freaking Russia talks to the press, man. Like he's like I can't talk to the press because the people above me won't like it. Wait, who's above the president of the United States of America? Like you're supposed to like be leading the country, not be a puppet. Like you're just admitting a puppet everywhere you go. He's like, I can't say that. My staff will be mad at me. I can't answer that because the people taking orders from won't like it. I'm going to sign this bill. I don't even know what's in it. And then there's Nazi Pelosi. He's like, sign it. He looks at her like in fear, like as if she has dirt on him, which Nazi Pelosi probably really has dirt on him. You look at her face; she has the face of someone who's mad. She's mad at the world. Maybe she had like a bad relationship growing up or something. I don't know, but she's pissed off. She wants to see the world burn. That Nazi Pelosi girl. Anyway, I said enough. I there's so much crazy shit going on like out there that they if they're doing so many secret dealings, of course they're gonna say, "Cause conspiracy theories, they're loonies." Like, don't listen. There's no possible secrets going on behind the scenes. I mean, like I just explain stuff. I mean, like in the comments, if you want to, like elaborate maybe where I'm wrong. I mean, I know there's gonna be liberals like, "Damn it, I hate the truth." Down with Jesus. Down with love. Down with like. Like, but I love America. I love freedom. I mean, like, I grew up here, man. I love barbecues, dude. Dude, like the 80s, 90s generation, shout out to you, man. We had arcades back then. Street Fighter 2 came out in 90s. That was the last hurrah. Like the 80s though, like man, like that was the best. There was people like the birth of, like skating being cool. They used to call skaters like whatever. They had insults for skaters, Then it got cool for a couple years. It's been cool since. The people that be carrying around skateboards, I'm cool. It's like, dude, you're a poser. You don't know how to skate. Like the poser, radical, tubular, Bill and Ted. We like look at all the good movies we had back in the 80s and 90s. We were everything had to go political, cancel culture. When cancel culture says don't forgive someone, right? That's like saying Jesus is wrong. Jesus says forgive everybody. Cancel culture says don't forgive anybody. First time they make a wrong, you don't like, get them off there. Anybody agrees with them, get them off there. That's like close to Nazism alone. Come on, like the cancel culture people when they're like saying, well, you can't say this, you can't say this, you can't say this, you say this, you can't say this on. So like movies, it was hard enough to make a good movie, right? Like you'd have a couple good movies a year, like 2 or 3 or 4, and like there'd be like maybe like 400 other movies that were released that just sucked, straight to DVD. You know what straight to DVD meant? It sucked. That's what that was. What I'm saying? Like anybody that's grown up there knew what I'm talking about. But like today, you don't have a 1 in 50 chance of succeeding. You have like maybe a 1 in a trillion because you're pushing so many different agendas. Can't step on these feet. Can't offend that. Can't do this. Blah blah. Blah. And like it's like guys writing a plot, and it's like okay, and then the gremlin turned the staircase thing, hot wired it, and would fire. No, you can't do that. First of all, gremlins are scary. Needs to be a poof ball. Okay, like this. Can we make this poof ball? No, can't make a scary poof ball. Okay, so it's gonna hot wire. No, you can't hot wire stuff because then that's that's tinkering with electronics. We don't want kids to get sued for the MacGyver thing where the first MacGyver went out because they made a bomb. Okay, can we fire the old lady out the window? Okay, dude, you don't fit in society right now. Okay, we can't fire old ladies out the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like these focus groups like will make it so like it's impossible for them to make good movies. Everything has to be like the gay agenda. Oh, gays are victims. The Christian's the bad guy. You know, it's propaganda, man. Like if you actually hang out with people, like in like Christians like to help people. Like I'll come over your house and mow your lawn or something. And trim the trees. Like let you in front of the line and the thing. I'm following Jesus, man. Um, I don't know, man. It's rough. I mean, I don't I just know just know that Biden's sold out, man. He's not like you're supposed to pray for your leader, but Biden isn't even our leader, man. He's trying to destroy America from the inside because China, Iran, and like they've been at war at us for a long time. They have, and we just ain't fighting back. They think it's World War III or something, Especially after 2011, like or 2001, September 11th. I don't know if you remember that, but they were dancing in the streets when their people loved it. Like they loved us going down because they freaking hate us. So if they hate us and they're at war with us and they want to kill us, why are the Democrats importing Taliban to the United States? They call them refugees, but it's the Taliban. We are bringing. There was a terrorist plot in Pittsburgh. Look up the Syria Mosque or whatever. Syria, there was the Syrian refugee who had a terrorist plot because Bill Peduto, towing the Democratic lines. We got to take all the refugees, even from countries we're at war with, and bring them in. So like there was a terrorist plot, that he was going to kill a lot of people. We're bringing Taliban in right now, right from Afghanistan. Um, I mean they can't destroy us from the outside. Maybe they destroy us from the inside. Doing a pretty good job with the guy in charge, uh, doing what they want. Anyway, take care, man. Keep your head above you. About you. Keep your head above your shoulders. I don't know, man. Love's the way, man. Remember, love's the way, and it's worth fighting for freedom. I'd rather, like I said, was it better dead than red? It's for a long time. I was like, that's kind of silly, but communism is the same as Nazism basically because it's that guy. It's the top. You do what he says or you die. Right? What was it? Tiananmen Square, right? There was a university trying to get Chinese democracy. So what they do after they subverted the Chinese democracy, then in the universities, then the president forced all the universities to push Chinese communist propaganda nonstop as part of their courses. And these guys don't like I mean like if you're Chinese, right? And your president has unleashed COVID on the world because he wanted Trump out of office, just because he had a political motivation. And your president Z uses Kim Jong Il as his see what he can get away with, little country. If they nuke North Korea, it's just no big loss. It's just North Korea, and then they starve their people in North Korea, so they make them loyal to the army, right? So if you're Chinese and your president is like going, "Hey, we're willing to kill like a tenth of my own population in order to kill people across the world because we're at war with them, and because we have too many people here anyway, right?" And it's like, the fuck, man. You're really gonna just kill your own people. I mean, well, you harvest organs of people that are supposed to be your people, so you know what? That all makes sense, right? But what doesn't make sense is the world can produce maybe like 20 times enough food as every person can use now, without even like improving our farming methods. If we wanted to, we could produce 20 times of food. We could all be like morbidly obese, 800 pounds if we wanted to. Right? I mean, I'm getting exaggerated, but like there is no scarcity of food. When Yemen's starving to death, that's Iran starving them on purpose, so they can tell the Americans, tell the Yemenis that they're Americans are starving them, right? And when North Korea starves their people on purpose, that's them saying, the Americans or whatever, so they can get more loyal soldiers. And they don't know any better, because they don't have an education. So they end up fighting against us. North Africa is a big hellhole because of Iran sending people with trucks and guns and just raid anybody you can. If they don't say they're loyal to Muslims, just kill them. Gotta kill them all. Muslim war. It's like I don't like the Somalia, Darfur, Ethiopia. All that dumb stuff. That's because the Muslims are like out just killing people random. They'll enslave people and sell the women to like China. You know, they'll rape them and then they like sell them to China as slaves. I mean, maybe like the whole Chinese idea of like killing your daughters or not having daughters is a bad idea. I mean, because then you don't have wives to give to your sons. I mean, this President Z is a madman. Like, wake up. I mean, like seriously, Bruce Lee's awesome. You know, Jackie Chan's awesome. Why don't you like resist like they do? You know, like, like dude, I'd rather, like I said, rather be dead than red. I'd rather be dead than under President Z. And he's trying, like I said, he's trying to puppeteer through Biden. So, you know, what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? All right, take care. Remember, love's the way, and just fight freedom. Fight for freedom if you have to. I mean, like I said, like we'll just rehash. If the world can produce enough food for everybody, then we don't have to limit like our population so much. Like China just does that as control. You know, we could have more people there. There's enough food for everybody. I mean, like maybe when like China was poor, China's not even remotely poor. It's just the guy at the top wants to be like so powerful that everybody respect me and women bow before me, and it's like, dude, you're like power tripping, like super evil. Like this is like you're one of the most evil people who ever lived, President T. You know, President Iran people. Those are evil people, and like I would not stand for that. Like what? Think about it. If you're a population of China and they're going like, hey, he just sent bioterrorism once, what? And no one's stopping him. In fact, the people who would oppose him with saber rattling, that would maybe pump the brakes. Like, say we had like Trump in office right now, he'd be like, President Z, you know what? You just sent bioterrorism. In normal circumstances, that would be like that would call for like a full retaliation. You know, bioterrorism is not something that's allowable. Like I'd rather, like personally, I'd rather get blown up in a nuclear explosion than bioterrorism keep coming in and in and in. Right? You know, like when your arms are on fire and you lose them because and become paraplegic because they're lethargic because you have some sort of terrible disease. Then like you'd rather just like been incinerated in a nuclear explosion. So like saber rattling, people think saber rattling is bad. Oh, you're starting a war, you know. But it's really to stop a war, right? Look, there's people that like if you're in a fight, you're about to fight, you don't want to fight, you have to act crazy, you know, like take you out. Like I mean, like look at Zdeno Chara of the Bruins, man. He gets in a fight, he gets these like really crazy eyes, and he stands up real tall. It's and the guy's like, and the guy was fighting him was like gets intimidated. It's crazy man. What did I do? A 7 foot tall, 6'7" crazy man gonna punch me in the face, and you get like the fear, you know. And that's what Iran's trying to do, push fear in you and try to push fear. But like if we saber rattle, they pump the brakes on this whole bioterrorism. They're not. They won't. They maybe don't keep sending it because like they're like, holy shit. I mean, if they nuke my whole country, I'm part of that country, right? So like, I don't get the puppeteers, right? I don't get the puppeteers, right? Like they want to burn down their own country, the country they live in. It's like burn down a forest you live in and you expect not to get burned. You know, it doesn't make sense. So President Z, like spreading this bioterrorism everywhere, like I don't know how the whole country is not against him right now. Like, are they just misinformed? Maybe they are. Hey, information. Hey, like I said, anybody who sees any holes in what I'm saying, put in the comments, man. We'll be happy to discuss. Because apart from that one thing I said, it may or not be true. All this other stuff is right on, man. Like love's the way, and these guys are trying to enslave you, man. Biden is not our president. He's a puppet of China and Iran. You can tell that when the canceling the pipeline. You know what that means? Higher gas prices. You know what that means? Iran makes more profits. It also makes everything in the goods and services be more expensive, which makes Americans poor, which makes Iran happy because Iran's happy because Americans are suffering, right? You know, what the Taliban say, oh, you know what, this is great. Americans don't have jobs right now. We're happy right now. We're happy. We're happy that Americans are failing. It's like I don't know. Like I like freedom. Like it's still like I don't know. I post stuff like this. You know. Hopefully someone gets a clue. Later, dudes. Two dads. Loves the way. Jesus loves you. Even if all the nations fall, we get enslaved. Remember what Jesus said about getting slaves? Go the extra mile. The bridge over the River Kwai, right? You know. It's like extra mile's not for like family or friends or anything. Extra mile's for the occupying soldiers. So when the occupying soldiers come, if they come, you know, you love and help them and do it, serve them. No matter who we go, we serve people around us. Um, and then Jesus said, you know, if my kingdom was in this world, my people would fight for me. You know, do you want freedom? You have to fight for it. Would you defend your grandmother on the street? Yeah, if someone attacked her, you defend her. Um, Self-defense is justifiable in the Bible. John the Baptist didn't tell the soldiers to stop being soldiers. So defending your country is fine. What you can't do is like offensive wars for loot and stuff, which is like what Iran and China is doing. That's evil. They're doing evil wars. Defending your country against evil people, that's fine. Like I mean, like if you can't fight a war, then like when the Viking invaders came into like Scandinavia or whatever, like or wherever they came, it's like if you can't defend yourself against like invaders, then like what's like I mean like that's a bad philosophy. And thankfully, God said you can defend yourself. So defend yourself, your allies and friends, and we're not even defending Israel anymore. Like just Iran, just blow them up, whatever, you know. And then what happens is like the liberals realize how much they screwed up, so like they put Biden under the bus for a little bit, but they're not fully running him over. They're like, oh, we'll run him over just a little bit, say he's a little bit bad, and then we'll just say the Taliban are good now. They're like, I was listening to NPR. They try and say they're unbiased. They're freaking liberal as shit. Like there's no like end to like how liberal NPR is. They're like, you know what? Now that the Taliban are there, this is great. We've been repressing the Taliban for so long, and then they just love us because they finally give us the country back, and now they're good guys. So we're gonna trust them and be good. NPR, what the hell? Well, who writes this stuff? Do people really think the Taliban are nice people now? Is that the liberal? Is that the Democratic play? They're allies, the people who bombed 9/11 and still and kill our people and kill our. Oh my God! I hope some people like have a brain. They pay attention because there's shit going on right now. Stand up for freedom. Stand up for love. Don't be embarrassed of your country. I have a T-shirt that says, "If you think America sucks, you suck," and I stand by that, man. Racism is terrible. Racism went away in the '80s with Bill Cosby. I'm really happy Bill Cosby got released. Personally, some people aren't, because I think maybe the charges are trumped up. I mean, like if he really was drugging people and knock them out, that's terrible. That's super evil. But if it was just trading drugs for sex, I mean, that's a kink in the inner city. I mean, that's a kink in like the rural suburbs. Like, hey, baby, I got some weed. Yeah, smoke that weed. If we have, some, it's like I mean, like that's not Christian, but it's a standard kink. It's not necessarily like if you don't think like if you don't know about how marriage is the only way, then like sleeping around with drugs and like with drugs is like it just people think they're like gangster or something. It's people it's not terrible, right? So like for Bill Cosby to like get out of jail, I think that's okay. That's pretty okay, pretty good because he single handedly ended racism basically. Like in the early '80s, about not 80% of people were racist. I hear them just talking racist shit all the time. Bill Cosby show comes on, everybody starts watching it. It's really good. It's entertaining. Bill Cosby's a very entertaining person. People start talking. I hear them talk like town halls and stuff and churches and stuff. Well, why we hating? Why we hating on these people? They're just the same as us, right? So like by the end of the '80s, I mean like that 80% of people went way lower than 1%. Like everybody, I didn't know anybody that's a racist for a long time. Like it's like what is it? 500 people. I know 500 people now. Like 499 aren't racist. No, when one says racist stuff, we sit them down and talk them down. Don't do that. It's not right. We're all brothers and sisters, humanity. And then I was even like with a band in the '90s. We used to go on mosh pits and stuff, and they were called the Traditionals or Skinheads Against Racism. If you look on my channel, look for the No Politicians song. It's all about how we're supposed to fight against politicians because they're trying to destroy us from the inside. And that's back in '89. It's a cyclical effect. We think we're good. We rest on the laurels, and boom, some like dickwad tries to like enslave you again. It's a cycle. It's like freedom doesn't come free. You always have to fight for it. But yeah, racism went away in the '80s. So for them to say that racism is a huge, 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 huge problem, well, it is if you say it is a huge problem. Like enough people believe you that everybody's a hater, and people think you're their hater. They live in the mind prison. Oh, everybody's a hater. They hate me. I hate. It's like no, everybody's pretty much cool. For every like one hateful incident, there's like thousands of loving incidents. It's like 100 people die to police every day. But you rub your nose in hate. If you rub someone's nose in hate long enough, what do you do when you get hate? When you see hate, you hate back, right? You get love, you feel love back, right? So the CNN pushed their nose in hate for a solid month, knowing they'd cause riots and shit. It was an agenda. It's a don't buy for that stuff. Red Hot Chili Peppers has it good, and it's like just throw away your television. There ain't anything good on television anymore. Like I said, everything's agenda. Everything's political agenda. Movies suck. TV sucks. Music sucks. Just go. That's why I said. Shout out to those '80s and '90s kids. We actually had it real. We had Ferris Bueller. You know, what is it like? Rebel against society. I mean, not rebel against society. Rebel against like authority, right? They made fun of the authority, right? And then what do we have in the post 2001? Oh my God, there's this bad guy on the loose. He's hurting lots of people. Call CSI, the government. Oh, the government saved me from bad people. And then it's over and over again. Bad person. Government saved you from bad person. Got to respect authority because the government needs to think. We need to like we give them all our rights and freedoms to protect us from bad guys. What was that? Benjamin Franklin. I can't remember right now. It was like he who would trade an ounce of liberty for security deserves neither liberty nor security. You're right, Benjamin Franklin. So keep your liberty, man. It's like God says He sent all authorities, so know who's the authority and who's just abusing their authority. Much like priests, right? There's real priests and there's ones abusing their positions, right? And I'm not even talking about what's going on now. Back in back before David was born, right? There was a man named Samuel. He's a prophet of God. And before Samuel was born, there is a lady named Hannah who couldn't have children. It's a recurring theme in the Bible. First three matriarchs of the Bible. Abraham's wife Sarah, Isaac's wife Rebecca, and Jacob's wife Rachel. None of them could have children naturally. They had to have supernatural children bearing by God, right? Because it's an allusion to the virgin birth, right? Mary did not have that child physically. She had it supernaturally. So Hannah couldn't have a child. And like her husband also had another wife who made fun of her for not having kids because the husband had was hanging out. You don't get no kids. You got no kids. So she's crying to God, right? And then Eli, the priest at the time, comes out and goes, "Hey, Hannah, check it out. Why are you making a drunken show yourself?" Because he's crying, he's mumbling. He's like, "I'm just praying for this for a kid." And I was like, "Well, whatever you want then. If you're praying to God, that's fine. I thought you'd be making a drunken show." So she had the kid. She dedicated to God. So she gave her kid to the church. Please don't have kids and then give them to the church. We don't want that anymore. Okay. But back then, was it whatever. So Eli raised the kid, and turns out Samuel was very holy. He listened to the Lord. The Lord loved him and everything. But Eli's sons were very unholy. You know, and when they gave the sacrifices, they would just stick a fork in and eat of it before they give it to God. Like, I just eat this raw meat. This is awesome. We're brutal. And then the women came to give offerings, like, "Hey, baby, I'm holy. Let's have some holy sex in the middle of the synagogue." And they would they'd be like defiling the synagogue with sexing with the girls, and and deceiving them and stuff. And then they did some other nasty. They just didn't even care about God. They said, "Screw God. He's not even real. We're just gonna abuse our positions." And then so what happens is there was this battle. Was it the Ark of the Covenant? Right. Every time the Ark of the Covenant comes out, there ain't nothing you can stop. It's like Indiana Jones. The Nazis are there. Ark of the Covenant kills Nazis. So it would be like that back when you fought the war. You bring the Ark of the Covenant out, you win the battle. So there's this really tough battle. Israelites versus the Palestinians. Oh, we call them Philistines back then. Same thing. You remember, God said there would be war with Israel for as long as Earth is around. And, there's been trouble in the Middle East, and so I'm pretty sure God's been right on that one. But anyway, I brought out the ark. Like, haha, we brought the ark out. Now you die. And then God just let the Israelites get killed, and the sons of Eli died because they were corrupt priests, right? They were corrupt priests. The church has had corrupt priests for a long time. Doesn't mean God's on their side. God's against corrupt priests, right? They always has been, always will. I mean, you can ask for forgiveness, but you got to be serious this time because the last time, if you ask for forgiveness and you go out and abuse your power intentionally, it's like you cannot say, "Father, forgive me for I'm about to sin." Don't freaking sin. It's like don't do it. Resist it, man. It's like, so like I said, there's been corrupt priests for a long time. I forget where we even got on this, but it ain't God. God's all about love, man. Like I said, and then Satan tries to use that as slander. Oh, don't follow God, man. Those are bad guys. I'm the good guy. I'll tell you what you want to hear. and then do what I want to do later. Kind of like a politician will tell you what he wants to do for you because he has focus groups. He'll This politician gets so much bribe money, that campaign contributions, that he'll pay people to find out what you want in this area and say he'll give it to you. Then when he gets in office, he'll do what he wants. So like Biden found out, like apparently Biden doesn't had the post "Make America Great Again," so he's making America suck again. Massa, man, he wants to make us slaves of Iran and China. All right, well, I hope, pray God gets this to some people. Pretty sure, like maybe like just Google will censor it, but it'll be on my drive. So you can see it. God bless, man. Adios.